back to the present, and you might recall a while back we spoke to Ben Ajayi Obi as he was preparing to attempt what is often dubbed the world's toughest row, 3,000 miles from the Canaries across the Atlantic to Antigua. Well, today, Atlantic Discovery, that's the craft that he's on, will have been at sea for 22 days, and Ben and his three fellow rowers passed the halfway mark in the early hours of 2019, so it must be going pretty well. And due to the miracle of modern technology, we can catch up with him now, which is so great. Hello, Ben.
Hi, Bill. Hi. Thanks for having me on your show.
Very nice to have you back on our show. Tell us honestly then, how has it all been going?
Well, it's been absolutely incredible. We've the first week was quite tough as we got used to the sea. There was seasickness, and it was quite hard to eat. And once we got past it, it kind of got a bit easier. And now we've kind of got into our rhythm. And today in particular has been quite a special day. We actually were woken up to a group of dolphins swimming next to our boat, which was quite a magical moment.
So I was going to say there's
actually had Hello?
I was going to say there's actually four of you. When you say woken up, are you all allowed to sleep at the same time, or would two of you have been rowing whilst the other two of you were sleeping to wake up to the dolphins?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. So two of us were sleeping and two of us were rowing.
Right.
So we are on quite a tough timetable of 2 hours on, 2 hours off, 24 hours around the clock.
Gosh.
It's a schedule that we've actually gotten used to now, and it's kind of become the new norm.
Well, I was going to ask you what were the hardest things about it so far? So all the hard stuff like the seasickness and getting used to the routine, that is all now over. Is there any sense of deprivation now?
So we're all losing a little bit of weight. So I think that's to be expected. But we have got quite a lot of food on board, and the toughest thing, other than the seasickness, has been some of the weather conditions. I would say sometimes there's some strong headwinds, and it's quite mentally tough to continue going into something where you're not making a lot of progress, or you're putting a lot of energy into it.
How well
once you get through it.
How well are you all getting on? Because this is a team effort like no other, and you can't escape at the end of the day. You're always together.
Yes, that's right. So we run our little 28-foot vessel all together for 28 days. 22 days so far, and we've been getting on really, really well. We all kind of knew where our problem areas as a team might be. We've chatted with each other to make sure we're all on the same page. We all kind of understand each other. So it's very, very important that we get everything out in the open and clear up any misunderstandings very early on. It's very important when we're all in this.
And what facilities do you have?
So currently, is that a toiletry question?
That was part of it, yes, but the cooking facilities, resting facilities, the whole lot, really.
Yeah, so we have the ability to boil water, to heat water, and hydrate our dehydrated food. We also have a bucket which we use to go to the loo. We have a whole host of communication devices. So we actually receive regular updates about the rest of the world on a daily basis, which is really nice. And we have a device that can make water, that can desalinate the water, the seawater, so that we have fresh water to drink every day. We have all our power comes from 3 solar panels that basically suit all our needs. So we're basically on a daily basis. Our job is to make sure all of these things are working tip-top condition.
We all know that sleep deprivation is outlawed under international law as an unacceptable form of torture, and yet you are sleeping 2 hours on and 2 hours off. What does that do to your head?
Well, initially it was quite hard to deal with. The nights, particularly between 4 and 6 a.m., were quite tough. We did get very, very sleepy. But we seem to have found a rhythm, and there are definitely ways you can help yourself, like making sure you're taking in the right calories at the right time of the day, make sure you're not rowing too hard later in the day, because it is mainly the night time where your body naturally wants to go to sleep. So it gets quite tough.
Right.
But the daytimes and especially the mornings are very, very welcome.
Now, how do you navigate? How do you make sure you're going in the right direction?
So we actually have several GPSs on board, and we have our main GPS, which is connected to something called an auto helm. And this essentially connects to the rudder of the boat and automatically keeps us on target to Antigua, so that we can just focus on rowing, which is a very handy device to have on board.
If something went seriously wrong, how long would it take for help to reach you, and in what form would that help come?
Well, so there are several redundancies to this event, which is why it's had such a good success rate in the past. But if something were to go wrong and we needed to be taken off the boat, the fastest way would most likely be a cargo ship or a cruise ship that was nearby. They would come to our aid with an SOS call. I imagine that may take up to 3 days at a maximum. But there are support vessels that the race organisers have as well that could potentially get to us depending on where they were, because they're quite fast as well.
Right. Well, it's still quite a long time. If there's a serious issue and it's up to 3 days, you're very brave. We better remind everybody why you're doing this, not just for your own sense of, I don't know, personal satisfaction or achievement, but very much for charity as well, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so one of the biggest goal of our entire campaign is actually to raise money for the Multiple Sclerosis Society and the Berkshire MS Therapy Centre based in Reading. Mm-hmm. And the reason for this is that my mum has been living with multiple sclerosis for just under 2 decades, and basically just seeing the impact that the disease has had on my mum's life is quite hard, because she went through the brunt of it as I was growing up, and you can see it take away her ability to walk and live independently. And I've actually totally, so appreciative of the community. Especially the charities, the MS Society and the Therapy Centre, who have actually allowed my mum to regain control of her life again, to a certain extent. And basically to the point that she didn't believe was possible. And
do you know at this point how much you're likely to raise?
So at this point, I believe that we've raised just around £12,000, which is a huge motivating thing whilst we're rowing. We receive regular updates on the donations. Every time we get an update about the donations, it makes us smile.
I bet it does. I bet it does. Just remind us how we can help if we're moved by what we've heard, and I can't imagine that we wouldn't be.
Absolutely. So you can donate by visiting our website at atlanticdiscovery.co.uk. That's atlanticdiscovery.co.uk.
Very easy. And final thought: what are you missing most? What are you most looking forward to at the end of all this?
I think, that's a good question. That's what I ponder quite daily. I think the thing I'm missing most is probably like a really nice meal, really good meal. The dehydration ration packs just don't cut it.
Those chefs in Antigua better get ready. And once you're there and it's all finished and you come back to the UK, you will, of course, come in and see us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good luck, Ben. Thank you so much. I'll better let you go. You must be on soon with another shift of rowing, I imagine. There he is, Ben Ajayi Obi, who is with his 3 colleagues rowing across the Atlantic all the way to Antigua from the Canaries and raising many thousands of pounds for very worthy causes as part of that. Marvellous stuff. Well done, them.